Right, I just picked up this old GreenFeild lawnmower from some guy. Got it for $300. Comes with a box of parts. Currently it is running. I did see it running before I bought it. However, there seems to be an issue with the driveline. Obviously I've got chain here and I've got all the driveline components here. I'm not sure if it's missing any parts, but from looking in here, it does look pretty empty. I'm assuming we're going to have a couple of belts run from these wheels, and then I assume they're going to link up to the back here somehow. But we can work that out. We'll figure it out. It needs a battery. It was also leaking a bit of fuel when we got it, so it's going to have the carburetor rebuilt. Other than that, yeah, she doesn't. God, that was stuck in there. Oh, there goes my towel. Yeah, so it's a Briggs & Stratton motor, 12 horsepower. I don't know, just think it'd be a cool restoration project. Let's see how we get on. Alrighty, so day 2 working on the mower. Managed to get the drive line back together. It's basically a series of clutches which have like a cork line in, which puts pressure on this. Obviously, it's quite clever. This pulley goes around there, so they spin opposite ways. I can't show you because it's on the engine, like that. And then the pedal is your selector, so forward pushes it that way, backwards pushes it that way. That's all together. All I got to do is get the sprocket on here, connect this up so it's against the wheel. But before I do any of that, I'm just going to take this carburetor apart and address that fuel issue, stop it leaking some fuel. Then yeah, probably going to hook it up to the car, get it running, and then see if that works. I might have to 3D print maybe some TPU linings instead of that cork, or I can probably go to a lawnmower shop and try and find some. Worst case, I just get a dinner mat, cut it into a circle, stick it on with some super glue. Job done. Yeah, coming together. A little bit dusty in here, so I'm gonna have to clean out all of this so it doesn't suck into the engine. I've just taken off the carburetor. Cut 2 bolts here. It looks like I'm gonna have to get this one from in here. Probably have to take this very rusty exhaust off. As you can see, pretty dirty in there, definitely needs a clean. Not sure where it's leaking, but this has got a bit of play in it. Still works fine, but as you can see, just a little bit of play. So maybe it's leaking from there, or maybe it was the bowl. Seemed like it was coming from back here. So let's get this off, let's get the carby off, and we'll have a better look. That one's done, hopefully. There she goes. Ooh. God. As you can see, my tyres have perished. Probably have to get some new ones of them. Yeah, that's the exhaust off. Doesn't seem to be too much oil, so hopefully it's not burning anything. But let's get this carb off and have a little look. Alrighty, so the last 2 bolts of the carb off. There goes one. Let's have a look in here. Oh, maybe a bit of water has got in there where it's sat a little bit. There's the intake. You can see the valve there. That's pretty cool. Okay, I got the carburetor here on the table. Just took out that little fuel needle from the bottle here. I put it back on for your sake, but I'm just going to show you probably some not good news. Yeah, so obviously that's your fuel float. It's obviously got a lot of water in there. That's all rust. Yeah, not ideal. Especially because I got the guy to show me it running was probably a mistake, because anything that's here, it's probably sucked into that engine. Hopefully nothing too bad. It looks in pretty good nick. It's obviously just had some water sat in there which is rusted away. I think my fuel leak would be from, if you can see it, that rubber seal which is broken along there, hence the oil leak, fuel leak, sorry. Yeah, definitely going to get some brake cleaner and clean all this up. It's going to be difficult to find that seal as a replacement, so I'll have to come up with some sort of plan for that. Maybe electrical tape will work for the minute, but yeah, I will come back to you when it's all cleaned up and ready to go. Yummy. Alrighty, so I've managed to get the carburetor off. Obviously I've gave it a really good clean with some engine degreaser. Took out all the little bits, they're just soaking in here. Basically, yeah, a shitload of engine degreaser, then a bucket of water, and gave it a really good scrub. As you can tell, my hands are clean now because I'm not holding a greasy carburetor. I'm just going to clean out these fuel needles, again, which are soaking in here, reassemble, and then hopefully we can, with the fuel I just got, we can chuck it back on, jump start it from the car over there. Hopefully we can get this thing running today. I haven't done the best job. I purely just wanted to take it apart just to see the state was. Obviously, this was all full of rust. It hasn't come out amazing, but I'll get some wire well on that at a later date. Like I said, I just want to get this thing running at the minute. So yeah, just going to reassemble the carburetor, put it back on. I've tried to make a little seal because I'm sure the fuel was leaking from here. Well, it was one or two places, either from this split seal here or from this little side part. All I did was took some electric tape and I've just kind of wound it in there as a temporary solution. Depending on how far I get into this build, I'll probably actually buy a carburetor rebuild kit with all the seals and stuff, take it apart properly and then give it a really good refresh. But yeah, let's get the reassembling done. So I'm probably not going to win any awards for the best rebuild, obviously with the electric tape everywhere. I'm aware that the petrol is probably going to eat into the glue for this on the inside, which probably isn't going to be ideal, but should be enough to keep it sealed and get it running for a good 10 minutes or so. So I've managed to get the carburetor on. However, this is like the throttle controller we've got up here. Somehow, by disconnecting this like metal wire, which opens that gate, I think I've got it on the wrong way or something. Because I assume it hooks around there. There's actually a worn out groove. But I think it's a push, it's not a pull. I don't know, this is blowing my mind. So this whole system works with that off, but it has to go there. But I think, yeah, to open that, it's, if you can see, it's a push. Maybe it stays always open and then pushes it closed. I don't know, just gonna keep fiddling and hopefully I can work this out. If not, I'll just delete this. Try to get it running just by using that little wire there. Other than that, it's all disconnected, a lot cleaner, but yeah. Alrighty, it's a bit of a nightmare to figure out, but that's definitely in its home now. As you can see, pulls at the last minute. It's very confusing. Took me a while to understand. Probably spent about 20 minutes just trying to get this to line up properly, so it all works. It's just raining, so I won't pull this out. Fuel line's back on. These are tight. I'm not going to put the exhaust on just yet. I will probably add some fuel, see if it's still leaking. If it is, meh, doesn't really matter. I'll connect it up with the jumper leads and I think we will get it turned over, try to get this baby running. Once it's running, we will obviously try and get the drive working because that's the main one for me. If I can get it running and the drive working, then yeah, time to pull it apart and paint everything. But if I can't get the drive working, I know it's going to be a headache. I'm going to have to kind of make some clutches, as I said. Whether that's something I can 3D print, but sprocket's not connected. I don't want to add the chain because I'm probably going to have to take all of this back off in a minute anyway. So yeah, for the minute, let's see if she leaks fuel. We'll get her started and then yeah, hopefully it moves. Yoo! All right, you might have to bear with me. I'm going to add some fuel. I'm doing this one-handed. Here we get in fuel. Just going to stop there. It's just got a little bit in there. Yeah, so far so good. We are not leaking any fuel, which is a good sign. I bet it would just be that seal there, which I'm hoping. I really want to take this tape off here. I'm gonna obviously have to tune the carburetor. It's been a while since I've done that, but let me just unscrew this. Maybe it's not getting any fuel. Yeah, so we're wet there. I'd say she's got fuel. Yeah, no leaks. Sweet. So let's get her connected to the battery and then hopefully she fires up. There's no way I can tell it's got.
Something is blowing there. this. It's leaking.
Look. I'm getting smoke from my starter.
You're getting smoked from there.
From where? Close.
It took a couple of time last time.
Yeah, but my starter mode is smoking over here. So close. Fuck, that was sketchy. Good run. Hey. Ground it properly.
There's fire, there's fire! It's almost a bit scary, isn't it, Sarah? Fuck. Because it hasn't got a clutch to go the other way. Alright guys, so day 3 working on the GreenFeild little mower. You would have saw the videos yesterday. We got that carb rebuilt, we got it all running. It's going good. We found out that it needs to ground properly to the frame, otherwise it won't start properly. And we actually managed to get it moving. So the interesting part is, as I said, this is your controller for forwards and backwards. I've only got one clutch plate, which is on the, it's going to be a nightmare to move. It's on the reverse side, so I could only go in reverse. I couldn't go forward. Here you go, here's a better angle. So this one's got the clutch lining on here, which is my reverse, and this one's got nothing. So it sounds horrible with that metal on metal as well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch this working clutch onto the driver's side, and then I'm gonna 3D print like that cork lining, probably just out of ABS. I'm gonna glue it onto this plate, obviously on that side. What that'll mean is we can basically go forward, and then I'm assuming we won't need reverse that much, so it shouldn't matter, but it should work. Another thing I've noticed as well, the selector for the gear, so your pedal, you can see, comes onto here and it pushes this bearing left or right. Old mate who's had it before has actually put on a little Jubilee clip. So I'll 3D print a little jacket for the outside of that bearing, put that Jubilee clip back over so it fits into that, and it should hopefully select gears a little bit better. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna get rid of any grime on here, which I didn't do before. I'm gonna grease it all up so it's slides really easy, but yeah, it should work. So first things first, we're gonna get that chain off, take apart all the drive line, print that clutch, print that little jacket for that bearing, put it all back together, and then we should, in theory, be running and driving. Once it's all running and driving, got the cutting deck here. Again, everything's filthy. At the minute, I just want to prioritize getting it running, getting it cutting, and then I can break it down and do a full restoration. But we should be able to get that honey back on, and then yeah, hopefully in the nice wet Sunshine Coast we can get cutting some grass. So let's do it. Okay, just gonna get this chain off. There's a little chain splitter here, which is that part. I'll put that somewhere safe and lose it in the next 5 minutes. In theory, this part should come off. As you can see there, it's coming. I might need a bit of a hammer here. It's just a bit sticky. How interesting. Okay, there she goes. And then just do there we are. That's our chain off. I should be able to move it into the garage now where it's going to be a little bit drier. Alrighty, so I've got this drive shaft all disconnected. Obviously all the parts here and here. This is now well and truly loose. Just gotta find out how the fuck I take this plate off. Then I can disassemble the rest inside here, pull that shaft out, and then get making some parts. Okay, so it's a mission to disconnect, but I got that one disconnected now. Oh, sorry. And just take off all these components. A couple of springs here. This is that bearing that old mate put a Jubilee clip on. So this sits, oh sorry, one-handed, in here like this, and it's obviously lost a part. So I'm going to print a jacket to get rid of that play up and down, and it should catch better when putting it in gear. Okay, so it's fully disassembled. As you can see, this is what the clutch is supposed to look like, and this is what I was trying to get it to drive as. I will say this whole drive line was so much easier to take apart. Now I know how to. Before, when it was just a box of parts, it was an absolute nightmare. I didn't know how it worked or how it went together, but it should be a pretty simple fix. We're in the studio, pretty simple, just a 30mm ring. I measured the radius to be 83mm. As you can see, just created the discs there. Bamboo Lab P1S is warming up, so printing an ABS, and then I'm just going to glue that ring to here. Next mission, very similar thing. It's just going to be a little cup to fit over here. It's going to have a gap in, and then I'll put this Jubilee clip back over so it holds it tight onto that bearing. But it shouldn't spin. It'll just be left and right resistance rather than spinning, so I'm not worried about it wearing out. Let's get this puppy printed. I imagine it'll probably take about an hour. In the meantime, I'll get this one designed, and then when it finishes, I'll get that printed. And then when I can't do anything, I'm gonna go out to the mower. I'm gonna get that throttle adjusted and fixed, and then yeah, I can start to sand down, re-grease all the components, and then hopefully it's all ready. Reassemble, put it back in, good to go. Let's cut some grass. Okay, so the clutch plate come up pretty good. Again, ABS, it's now been glued on. I did make a little bit of a boo-boo there, but yeah, it seems steady enough. I mean, all it's really gonna do is stop the friction between the metal. It's soft enough that I think it should give me good reverse. But yeah, we'll get this puppy put in. Just gonna wait for the other part and then we'll be good to go. But looking good so far. So this is that bearing. Obviously you can see little ABS jacket there, and then metal Jubilee clip. I think that's gonna be more than enough. Clutches all back together, glued back on. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but I think it's going to work. My only concern is it's probably going to be a bit too slippery, at least until it kind of beds in and makes a rougher like texture. I'm aware this isn't going to be a final fix. I'll probably have to do some more iterations, but yeah, all the parts are back, everything's printed, so let's put all this back together. There's most of the driveline back together. I've used heaps of grease. Probably hard to see really, but everything is sliding so much better. I've got so much more movement for my drive. Obviously I've got the 3D printed clutch plate that's on the reverse side, and then I've got that cork one which I know works on my drive side. Yeah, that part seems to be doing wonders as well. Just got less play in that bearing, which is great. All right, so everything's back together. All the clutches, all the 3D printed parts. Sprocket and chain are back on. Forgive me, I'm out of breath. I just had to push it because whenever you put the chain on, it doesn't like to free roll. Should have put the chain on here really, but yeah, fingers crossed. Just gonna jumpstart it from the Subaru, and then hopefully we can get this thing moving. I'm pretty confident it's gonna move forward. Whether that 3D printed clutch works to go backwards, I do not know, but we'll find out in about a couple of minutes. With this thing, here's my fuel valve, that's fully open. I was cranking it for ages, but I wasn't getting it to fire up. Thankfully, I've had this for like 3 years. As soon as I spray a squirt into here, she fires right up, obviously briefly. So I think where I rebuilt that carb, I didn't do my needles correctly, so I've just unscrewed all of them, and then hopefully, I'm gonna try video this as well. Oh, hang on. Let's connect this puppy up. I'm hoping now we're gonna get fuel spraying out. All right guys, just gonna give you a quick update on this mower here. Obviously I rebuilt the driveline, pretty much had it all back together, all the 3D printed parts were there. Oh, that side of it was working good. Obviously I brought it over here to start it. I was like, yep, sweet, she's gonna run, I know it runs, and then I was gonna drive it around. Basically, it wasn't firing up. It felt like I wasn't getting any fuel. So I used to kind of easy start, and then it would run, but then it would kind of like misfire. It was like tung, 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 tung. So I thought it was fuel initially, which wasn't the case. Well, towards the end, I was spraying in heaps of easy start and it just wasn't going. Managed to track it down. I've taken the engine apart just so I can get to this thing, plug it in, turn it over from the car, no spark. So hopefully I can just run and grab a new spark plug. If it's anything to do with this, I think I'm going to be in a bit of trouble because I know parts are going to be hard to find. But step number one, got to go to the shops, get myself a new spark plug, fingers crossed, get it running, and then yeah, finally get it driving. See ya. Right, so been to Bunnings, got myself a new spark plug. They also have sausage sizzles, and it's a crime against humanity to not get sausage sizzles when you go to Bunnings. Hopefully this fixes the running issue though. We'll find out when we get back.
dirty. So I managed to get it running. Something not right. Not a happy engine.
Guys, just a bit of an update on that mower. Obviously you saw by the videos I managed to get it running and driving. When it was driving it was very unpredictable. I think that was due to the tape that I put around that throttle cable, so it's basically just revving sky high. But yeah, after that, the second video you saw that it was just stuttering all the time, puffing up black smoke. It smelled really rich, so it's definitely running too rich. So I got a new spark plug. It didn't really fix much. So I rang a company down in Noosa who do lawnmower repairs. They managed to find a coil. So it's a very old motor, but they managed to get one. $105, which was a bit too much for me. Managed to jump on eBay and they found one, I think it was $30, which is on its way. So hopefully we can get a new coil in. It was a bit rusty where it grounded. So I'm assuming the coil's just rusted out. Basically we're not getting any spark, so hopefully new coil and then she'll be in and running. And then yeah, so hoping you enjoyed this video. Give it a like. There'll be another episode coming out probably by the end of the week when that coil arrives, and then yeah, if we can get running, cutting some grass would be amazing. And then again I can take it all apart, sand it, paint it, make it look pretty, and then yeah, crash it into a wall or something cool. Yeah, follow along if you want to see episode 2. Cheers legends.